Thanks for joining us. While we're waiting for people to join, if you don't mind in the chat saying where you're from. Oh, and if you can mute until you're called on, that would be great too. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, I don't even have my chat open. So yeah, if you want to say where you're from, or that'd be great. Oh, Texas. That's exciting. Hello, Nancy from Texas. My name's Hara, by the way. Misty is our speaker, and so she can introduce herself.
I won't type in the chat, but I'm from Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here.
I think, oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if I can mute this.
What was that, Hara?
I'm going to try to, I can hear somebody typing. I don't know who's not on mute, but I'm trying to see. Oh, well, that's cool. She's from the UK. Deborah's from the UK.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Welcome, Deborah.
Oh, good. And Miss Grace is back. Okay. We have a few more people joining. And if you're just joining, would you mind putting yourself on mute unless you want to chat, say something, but and also put in the chat where you're calling in from. And we'll get started in just a few minutes. Misty, is there anything you want to say? Or do you want to just get started?
Sure. Yeah, we can just jump right in, dive right in, get started, use this time that we've got. But I'm happy to just dive right in unless you have something you want to say.
No, I just, thanks everybody for being here. I just, I wanted this to happen because I have found love for myself in the biggest body I've ever been in. And Misty's one of the people who've helped me along my journey. And I hope that for everybody. And so that's how this came about.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And
wow.
I'll mute also.
I am just thrilled to be here. And Hara, it's just a joy to be with you. I just have been watching your work and watching your dream and your important work spread into the world. And that is exactly what I do. I work with women. I'm a coach, and I work with women to help them access their gifts, that divine feminine gift that's within them, and then help them clear out all the noise that's saying, play small, hide out, don't put your gift out into the world. And we do that in a variety of different ways. We do that through our body specifically. Oftentimes as women, we really use our body as a limiting factor in putting ourselves out into the world. A lot of the negative voices that we hear in our head are centered around our body. So when we are thinking about putting ourselves out there, a lot of those limiting beliefs that are getting in the way, the noise that is stopping us, is centered around I'm not enough, not good enough, not thin enough, not smart enough, not capable enough, don't have what it takes, I don't know enough. So we're going to be talking about that today. But that is my mission. That is my purpose. That is my goal. Is I absolutely love helping women let their light shine, because when you shine, we all benefit. And hopefully by the end of today, you'll get a little bit of a taste of that, because really, when you shine, when you are out there doing your important work, it's what you're meant to be doing. It's how you show up as that woman you know in your heart you were designed to be. And when you show up in that energy, when you show up in that certainty, the world changes. So I have been privileged to work with people like Hara who are spreading their light into the world and doing amazing things. And it's like the ripple effect that just feels so incredible as I watch these clients move out into the world and share their gifts. So my hope and my intention today is for us to feel a little bit more motivated and tap into our superpower. And our superpower is love. That superpower is the most powerful force in the universe. And I hope by the end of today, you might believe that maybe 1 or 2% more. Because what happens when we change our beliefs, we change how we show up in the world. So let's dive in and get started. So the way that I work, the way that I coach, the way that I present is all around experience. Knowledge in and of itself does not create transformation. Experience creates transformation. And knowledge is all the way up here in our head. We try to think our way to a solution. We try to figure things out all up here in our head. Experience happens in our body and our heart. And when we experience something, when we feel something, that's when shifts happen in our body and our heart, and that's when transformation occurs. So even as I was preparing for today, I thought about slides, no slides, and really just felt into what I wanted to present and what I wanted to accomplish today. And I really wanted to just look at your faces or to feel the energy of you all on the screen and just connect on that level, because experience transforms. Knowledge does not transform, experience does. So that's what my intention is for today. I'm going to be asking you to do a couple of exercises. If you're here, participate as much as possible. The more you put into this, the more you're going to get out of this. And if you're listening to a recording, I know how listening to a recording of webinars go. I've listened to a few in my time. Most of the time it's walking the dog or doing the dishes, right? So if you are going to listen to a recording and listen to this later on, please pause and at least walk through the exercises in your mind. Because that's where the transformation occurs, is when you can start to think differently and believe differently and feel differently. And the exercises that I've cultivated for this workshop are going to be creating some of those feelings and thoughts and beliefs and bringing them to the surface for you. So the more you put into this, the more you'll get out of it. So why does self-love matter? I love that Hara put this together for all of us, but sometimes we think about self-love and we think about it just as it's almost like a buzzword, right? Like, oh yeah, okay, I gotta love myself. Yeah, okay, let's put it on the to-do list. One more thing I gotta do. I gotta love myself, right? And why does it even matter? Why is it that self-love is so critical, and why we intuitively know that it's important? We may not know why, but we just intuitively know, yeah, I probably should love myself, right? It's just kind of like one of those duh, like, yeah, of course I should. But why? Why does it matter? It matters because everything that we do in life is motivated by an emotion. Every action we take is motivated by an emotion. And we want to be able to motivate ourselves from the most powerful emotion out there, which is love. And we're going to walk through a couple of exercises that's going to outline why, how love is actually the most powerful force in the universe, okay? So what do you think of when I say, I just want you to feel into your body, okay? You can even close your eyes if you want, but I want you to just hear the word self-care, okay? And I just want you to feel what comes up. And it may not all be roses and sunshine. It may not be butterflies and rainbows. It may be ugh. And that's okay. All right. But if you wouldn't mind, type in the chat, what comes up for you when you hear self-care? Connecting and sharing authentically, decompress, being kind to myself and gracious. Yeah, really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That connecting and sharing, decompressing, peace and calm, prioritizing my joy, practicing meditation, taking the effort to care for myself no matter how I feel. Yeah, self-care feels, when we get down into our heart space, when we really feel into self-care, it feels important. Prioritizing my joy. Like, feel into that. Like, how incredible is that, that I'm giving me the attention that I deserve? I gave a workshop similar to this, and we talked about self-care, and I asked the same question to a group of women that were sitting there. And when I asked the question, what comes up for you when I say self-care? She immediately started to cry. And she said, when I think of self-care, I think of all the things I'm not doing and feeling like I don't deserve it. Right? Because what gets in the way of our own self-love, our own self-care, are those feelings of, I'm not worth it. I got to take care of everybody else. I don't have the time. I don't deserve it. Right? The toilets need my attention more than I need my attention. Right? And what you're saying here is, when you get quiet and still, when you tune in, being kind and gracious to myself, finding that peace and calm feels really important. Connecting and sharing authentically, really important, okay? So on a piece of paper, if you have a piece of paper in front of you, I would love for you to just draw your self-love superhero, okay? This is the superhero, this is the self-love superhero who has it all figured out. She's got self-love down to a science, okay? And I just want you to draw this. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're not going to show anybody. I may have you show it up on the screen, but nobody's really going to look at it, okay? So the self-love superhero, I want you to draw her out. She can be a stick figure. That's what I would personally do, because I am not an artist. My daughter is an incredible artist. I am not. I don't know where she got it, but grateful she has it. All right, so now that you have your superhero on the page, I want you to draw a great big heart in the center of her chest. And what is this superhero feeling? Okay, what are the feelings that she has about herself, about the work that she's doing, the world around her? Just put the feeling words in her heart. Okay, now I'd love for you to just draw a little thought bubble above her head. And write in the little thought bubble, what is she thinking? She was like, these were the little thoughts that she has about herself. What are the thoughts that she's thinking that are generating those feelings in her heart, right?
Will get here.
Okay. Now, I want you to just draw almost like this is almost like an umbrella arching over the top of her head. What is she believing about herself to have this experience? What is she believing about herself?
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
We've written in our hearts what we're feeling. We've written in our minds what we're thinking. How is believing different than thinking?
It may be similar,
Okay.
but just just kind of tune in to your intuition, to your gut, and just whatever comes up. What
Okay.
would you have to believe about yourself to think those thoughts?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification. Is this the kind of loving person we can be to ourselves? This is, I'll tell you after our exercise why I chose the superhero. Okay. But that's a very, very great question, Deborah. Thanks for asking that. All right. Now, this is the really, really important question. How is she showing up in the world? Okay. Our energy is our greatest asset. And our energy is made up of what we believe, think, and feel. That's the energy that we move into the world with. So from this energy, this superhero that's believing, thinking, and feeling these powerful thoughts that are centered around love, how is she showing up in the world? What is she doing? How is she showing up with the people around her? How is she taking care of herself? How is she showing up to her important work? Okay. I would love for somebody to share just what came up. You can share what you noticed, share maybe what your superhero was believing about herself, vocalizing and saying, putting into words what you're experiencing here on the paper anchors it in. It's really powerful to share it and it's almost like it gives it more power. It gives it life when we bring it out of our mind and into the world. So does anybody want to share what they noticed as they were creating their superhero, what came up for them? Or what was your superhero believing about herself to have this experience?
Yeah. And if you want to do it, please just unmute yourself and go ahead and start talking.
I don't mind sharing, if that's okay. So some of the words that I've written is peace, feeling peaceful. I'm able to function. I can cope. I am weightless. I am light. I'm happy, positive, glad, joy, available and present. I'm a good person. I care about others. People like me. People want to be my friend. I'm kind and I care about myself. And then it was, I listen to people. I am there for others. I am a good friend.
Yeah, so powerful. Thank you so much, Mickey. That was a beautiful share. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what did you all notice about how your superhero was showing up in the world? Just like Mickey shared, right? when you are in this place of peace and contentment within yourself, when you feel that love for yourself, you show up in the world connected, a good listener, a good friend, positive and calm. Yeah, thank you, Deborah. You move into the world with the energy that you create in your mind and in your beliefs and in your heart. Okay? Our energy is our greatest asset. Yeah, fulfilled. So I want you now to think about a time that you felt powerful. Okay, no, I promised that I would tell why I said it should be a superhero to begin with. The reason that I chose for you to start with a superhero is because our brain really likes to bring us back to our homeostasis or our set point. And sometimes our set point can be, yeah, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, but I couldn't possibly have that. So to start with a superhero, it opens our mind to the possibility of what if I could move into the world with the energy that this superhero has, because a superhero can do anything, right? Superhero is unlimited. Sometimes we don't believe that we are unlimited. We put limits on ourselves. And so when you can start with a superhero and see the possibilities, it's like cracking the door open on possibility and allowing yourself to peek through. That's a really powerful place to be, is to be able to peek through the door of possibility and say, what would happen? What might happen if I started believing, thinking, and feeling differently? Oh, wow, I'd show up in the world doing my important work and feeling fulfilled. Oh, I'd show up being a good listener and a good friend to others. Oh, I'd show up positive and calm, right? This opens the door of possibility where our brain likes to say, yeah, but I call it the yeah buts, right? All the yeah buts that get in the way. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. So I want you to think about a time. Now we've opened the door of possibility. Now I want you to think about a time when you felt those feelings, those same feelings that you wrote in your superhero's heart. Okay. Maybe it was calm, maybe it was aligned, maybe it was peace. And I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to tune in and think about a time when you felt powerful and aligned. You felt like you were moving forward using your gifts. And it could be as simple as watching your child sleep, right? Or it could be standing on stage giving a presentation that I never thought was possible. Whatever it is, nothing is too small. But just tap into that feeling when you felt powerful, aligned, and like you were connected to who you were designed to be. Okay, and I want you to go ahead now, and I want you to find the feeling. What is one feeling word that describes that experience? And I would love for you to drop that into the chat. What were you feeling? Empowered. Yeah, thank you, Mickey. So when you felt that feeling, connect to that feeling. I want you to now do the exact same thing. What thoughts did I have about myself that created this empowered feeling, this connected feeling, this peaceful feeling? What were the thoughts that generated that feeling? Open to the moment and strong. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah. And now here's the really powerful question. What were you believing about yourself in that moment to have that feeling and those thoughts? What were you believing about yourself? I can do this. Yeah. Felt confident. You felt certain, right? That energy that you just identified, I knew it was right. Yeah, really beautifully noticed, Deborah. Really powerful, right? When you tap into that energy, that's the energy that's unstoppable, right? That's the energy that says, yeah, no matter what obstacles come, I'm going to move through them. I felt in control. Yeah. When you can step into that energy, that's what I call the energy of yes. When we create from the energy of yes, the energy of love, it's the most powerful force in the universe, right? We're unstoppable, we're empowered, we're in control, we're certain, we know the next step. That is the power of tuning into our energy and creating from love. Right? Now, the problem is, where do we try to motivate ourselves from? Often, we try to motivate ourselves from, I have to, I should. Okay, there's 3 levels of motivation, and you can write these down. The first level is, I have to. Oh, I have to do this. Okay. The second level of motivation is, I should, or I ought to, right? And the third level of motivation, the most powerful, is I get to. So I want you to think about a time when you've set a goal and you come from this energy of I have to. It feels like I have to figure it out. I have to do it. If I don't do it, then I'm not worthy. If I mess up, then I'm a failure, right? And we try to motivate ourselves from this energy of, oh, I have to, because we think that that's the way that it's going to get us moving. So when I have struggled or did struggle for years with emotional and binge eating, and I lived in this energy of, I have to figure this out, right? I can't figure this out on my own. I have no idea. I feel totally out of control. I don't know how to listen to my body. I don't even trust my body in the first place, because I can't trust it to make decisions, because if I were to listen to my body, I'd just sit on the couch and eat bonbons all day, right? That was my thinking. That was my thought, right? So of course I would lay down at night with the tomorrow I'm going to be better mantra, right? And I know I am not alone in that mantra, right? Tomorrow I'll be better. Tomorrow I'll do better. Tomorrow I'm not going to have any sugar at all. Tomorrow I'm going to be better, right? And I remember one time I had just, been in this huge emotional and binge eating extravaganza, and I was bloated, I was sick, I felt awful. And you know what I did? I said, I'm going to get on the scale right now. I'm just going to get on the scale, because then I'm going to be so mad at myself for how that number on the scale, it's going to motivate me tomorrow to do better. Right? Did it work? Absolutely not. Never worked. Maybe it worked for a day, but then a week later, I was right back where I started. It wasn't until I started tapping into the most powerful energy in the universe that I started to shift and learn to take care of myself. from the inside out. Okay? Because what happens is when we try to motivate ourselves from I should or I have to, it's like we're trying to expand and grow from the outside in, right? If I just had a better body, then I would love myself, right? And we can do it as entrepreneurs. If I just had more clients, then I would feel like a success, right? If I just had more money in the bank account, then I would feel certain that what I was doing was right, right? And we try to do this, we try to expand from the outside in, and it doesn't stick. It doesn't work. But when we expand from the inside out, we have it backward. Our brain thinks we have to shift our brain to think a different way. Because guess what? When I love myself, then I take care of myself and lose the weight. Wrong way. When I feel successful, the clients come. When I feel certain about what I'm doing, I attract more people to my business. When we expand from the inside out, it sticks. It's permanent. We shift what we believe to be true about ourselves, and we show up in the world differently, right? I started taking care of myself when I started to listen and love and give myself the attention I deserved. Because who doesn't want to take care of something that they love? Right? When you think about your most precious possession, whether it's a child or a dog or an item that you feel was like my ring, it has so much value to me because it's got a diamond from my mom's ring, diamonds from my grandmother's ring, and diamonds from my original wedding ring. I actually lost my diamond and had to have it totally redone. But this right here, wow, has so much meaning for me. I don't ever take this off. And when I do, I know exactly where it is and I know exactly where I keep it. This is precious to me. And because it's so precious, I take extra care of it. That's the energy of love. When we show up in the energy of love, when we take care of ourselves from the space of love, we expand and it sticks. It stays. That's when permanent change is possible. It's not a Band-Aid solution. The powerful thing about expanding from the inside out is we stop giving our power away. When we look outside of ourselves for the answers, right? When I'm saying, gosh, why do I have a plan for growing my business, but I'm not sticking to it, right? Why do I know exactly what to do with taking care of myself, but I'm not following through, right? Why do I do that? That's because when we expand from the inside out, when we start to shift what we believe about ourselves, that's when we show up differently, just like your superhero. So how do we create from the energy of yes? Where do we find this energy of yes? You all found it when you closed your eyes and tuned into a time that you felt powerful. You all have that greatness inside of you. I call that your first voice. The problem is that we tune in, we know intuitively, you know when you have felt that glimpse of greatness, when you felt connected to that powerful part of you. You've caught glimpses of this woman you know in your heart you were designed to be, right? You know when she's there. The problem is we tune into that first voice, and then what happens is the second voice comes in, and the second voice is all the noise in our mind. It's all the noise of not enough, not good enough, not going to make it. You've tried before, why try again? All the noise is what tunes out and turns off our first voice. I set up an exercise. I run retreats, and one of the retreats that I was hosting, I set up an exercise to illustrate this. And what I did was there was 25 women in the room, and I had one brave volunteer. And at the opposite, I set up an obstacle course with chairs in the room. And the other 24 participants were in a circle around the obstacle course. And there was a trusted guide at the opposite end of the obstacle course. Now, what I asked my brave volunteer to do was to navigate the obstacle course just by listening to her trusted guide, right? Sounds simple enough, right? Except for there was 2 caveats. First, she was blindfolded. She couldn't see. She had to just listen to the trusted guide and follow the directions to navigate the obstacle course. Number 2, I had asked all 24 participants who were circling the obstacle course to write down one limiting belief or one limiting thought that they had on a regular basis. I'm never going to make it. I don't know what to do. I'm totally confused. Somebody else knows how to do it better. Any of those thoughts that we all have, right? I just had them write down one. But as my brave volunteer was trying to navigate the obstacle course, I asked them to just say out loud over and over again their one negative belief, their one limiting belief. So my brave volunteer steps into the obstacle course. She's blindfolded, and she's trying to listen to her trusted guide on the opposite side of the obstacle course. And she takes a step forward, and she's pretty confident. She's listening hard, and all this noise is going on around her. And she's walking forward, and she's trying to listen, and you could see her start to hesitate, and then you could see her that the steps started getting smaller until finally she put her hands over her ears and she said, "I cannot hear a thing. I don't know where to go. I have no idea what to do," right? Totally frustrated, totally stuck, right? How many of us have felt that before, right? I'm trying so hard to listen to my first voice. I feel in myself that there is more for me. There's important work I'm meant to do. It doesn't matter if that important work is in your home with your family, or that important work is out in the world with a business, or if that important work is connecting to the people that you love, right? I know there's more for me, and I can't move forward because there's so much noise, right? That is the second voice. In order for us to listen to our trusted guide, in order for us to listen to that first voice and show up as that woman we know in our heart we are designed to be, we have to turn down the volume on our second voice and turn up the volume on our first voice, right? When we turn down the volume on our second voice, the confusion, the frustration, the stuck goes away. That's the power of listening to ourselves, of giving ourselves love and attention. Because just like, and I can't remember who it was that said it, but I feel aligned and connected when I am in self-care, when I give myself space and time. That's when I feel aligned and connected. That's when I can listen to that first voice. So the second voice feel the second voice usually centers around, I'm not enough. I don't have enough time to take care of myself. Like, take care of myself, that's like one more thing on my to-do list. Why would I take care of myself? That just feels overwhelming. Like, really? Take 10, 15 minutes out of my day to meditate? I don't even have 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, right? Right? That's the mantras that are going on in our head. And yet, when we receive love from ourselves, when we receive time for ourselves, we have more to give. Okay, and I want to take you through an exercise that illustrates this. So our breath is an incredibly powerful tool, but we're going to use it here as an illustration. So I want you to go ahead and inhale through your nose. Okay, just inhale and fill up. Okay, and exhale. Okay, now I want you to take an even deeper inhale. This is receiving. We're receiving the breath in even deeper, all the way down into your belly. And exhale. You're giving out, okay? And again, just notice the deeper you receive, the more you receive, the more you have to give. Right? Now, I want you to go ahead and receive one more time. Inhale. And now I want you to give. Exhale, 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 exhale. Hold at the bottom. Now try to exhale some more. How much do you have to give? Not much, right? When we give ourselves space to receive, we have more to give. And when we run out, when we think that, no, I don't have time to receive, I don't have time for self-love, I don't have time for self-care, I just got to keep giving, right? We run out, we fall over, we pass out, right? There's nothing left to give. There's a beautiful energy of divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy in creating what we want. And when we create from this feminine energy is all about receiving, but we cut that off. We think it's not important. Receiving me? I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of receiving love from myself, receiving time with myself. I'm not worthy of that. And yet, how can we give what we're meant to give in this world? How can we show up as who we're meant to be without receiving first? The receiving always comes first. Okay, really, really powerful. So we're just going to end on this for today, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. There are two beautiful quotes. So Neville Goddard said, change the conception of yourself and you automatically change the world in which you live. Change the conception you have of yourself and you automatically change the world in which you live. I will be what I believe. Think about your statement. When you felt the most powerful, what were you believing about yourself? Cultivate that belief. Because when you cultivate and grow and turn up the volume on that first voice, you show up in your important work and your light shines and everyone benefits. So when I was moving into this entrepreneurial world, and I was supporting women business owners who were building their own businesses. I moved into building my own business with the same energy that I had approached every other aspect of my life, which is work as hard as I can and put as much time and energy as I can into it, because the more that I work, the harder that I work, the more the results will, the better the results I'll get. Didn't work. And I felt like I was just running up against this brick wall and banging my head in frustration. And I went to a retreat, and it was a moment of stillness and quiet. Again, right? Self-love, self-care. I had given myself this time, this weekend, to really pause and reflect and consider how I was going to move forward, because I couldn't keep putting in the energy and effort that I was without getting the results in my business. It just wasn't computing. It was like, I'm putting in way too many hours and not getting any of the results that I wanted. And so I just opened myself up to prayer, and it was a quiet moment, and I was sitting on the edge of a lake. And as I looked out over the lake, I saw these swallows that were diving and swooping and turning and twisting. And I just felt like this overwhelming emotion of just like, that's what I want. I just want to feel that freedom. I just want it to feel like I'm dancing through life. I don't want this to be so hard. And in that moment, it was like I had this download. Misty, they're doing their important work. Those swallows weren't just dancing for the sake of dancing. They were catching their bugs. They were swooping and diving and turning and swirling. And they were doing it with beautiful alignment and ease. And it felt like they were dancing. And in that moment, I realized that that was the energy I wanted to create from. That energy of, I don't have to do this, I get to. And it gets to be beautiful. It gets to be fun. It gets to feel like dancing. And when I started to cultivate that energy, that's when my business grew. That's when success, right, came into my life. It wasn't from the force. It wasn't from the push. It was from allowing the creation to happen from the energy of, yes, I get to. And it started with me receiving through love. So thank you all for being here today. It has been just such a joy and a pleasure. Thank you for sharing all of your hearts with me. I felt them across the screen. I'm getting better at connecting over Zoom. For a while there, I resisted because I didn't want to, but my goodness, how incredible that we have people here from Texas. And I do have to say that my beautiful friend, she's Nancy on the screen, but I know her as Jeannie, but she is just a dear, dear friend that I have not seen in years. So how incredibly beautiful it's been to just see her smiling face on the screen. But all of you, we have people from across the ocean. That's the power of Zoom. So grateful for it. So any questions that I can answer or any clarification on anything, I'm happy to.
How can you learn more about this so that it becomes like a regular practice?
How can you learn more about, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear very well.
How do you learn more about what you've been, telling us about the power of yes, and how do you incorporate that into your everyday life? Because I get plagued with negativity because I have depression, and I really, really want what you've just been talking about. I want it, but yeah. So
Yeah, really, really beautiful question. It starts in small increments, and it starts with allowing yourself some space and time to just be still. Okay, that would be the most powerful gift you can give yourself, is to just listen to your body. I know for me, it started out by listening to myself. And that was
Right.
as simple as, like, I need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, that was like my first step was,
Yeah.
oh, yes, my body's telling me I need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to go, right? I'm going to honor me. The other
Yeah.
thing you can do is just allow yourself the time to pause. I love the power of the breath. Okay.
Mm.
So when you start to feel a negative emotion or a negative feeling or a negative thought in your mind or in your body,
Yeah.
use your breath. Just allow yourself to take a big, deep breath, because that automatically starts to send the message to your body that all is well. Okay.
Yeah.
And then please, if anybody would like to reach out for additional coaching, I do one-on-one coaching. If you want, I start with a free consultation. So if you want to explore in more detail and in more depth, please reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook under Misty Springer Coaching, and message me, and we can find out a time that would work. But yeah, Misty Springer Coaching. Yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah, but as just a little tip for right now, your breath is really powerful. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So we have another question here. How do you find your way back to the positive when you're feeling so low? Yeah, small steps and space for breath. Yes, and give yourself permission to feel. The number one reason that we say self-sabotage is because we're running away from emotions that feel too big, right? One of my clients, she said it so beautifully. She said, I feel like I'm filling a hole in my soul with food, because she was running away from the feeling of this black abyss in her soul, right? So one of the things that I teach my clients is to feel first. And there's a really powerful way that you can just feel into your body, because oftentimes what we think is that if I feel something, it's going to overtake me. If I feel sadness, it's going to get in the driver's seat and it's going to take off down the road and I'm never going to recover, right? Or if I feel anger or frustration, whatever it is, it's actually the opposite. The opposite is true. So one of the things that I teach my clients is a tool called I see you, I feel you, I hear you. Okay, and this is just around the idea of feeling first. When we feel first, the emotion doesn't have to be in the driver's seat. We get to be in the driver's seat. Okay, so the way that you can do this, you can just feel into your body. And again, this is giving yourself the attention that you're craving. Okay, your emotions are there because pain, emotional or physical, is simply an opportunity to pay attention inside now. PAIN. So whether you're feeling sadness, depression, anxiety, frustration, any of those emotions, they're simply there as an indicator light to pay attention inside now. PAIN. Okay, so use your emotions not as a way to be like, I'm feeling anxious right now. What should I do? I'm going to go eat to feel better, or I'm going to go scroll Facebook so I don't have to think about it, right? Or I'm going to stay up in the swirl at 3 a.m. and have nowhere for all these thoughts to go, right? Instead of moving into there, I want you to think about tuning inward. And that's I see you, I feel you, I hear you. And the way that I teach my clients to do this is by closing their eyes, and you don't have to. I just feel like closing my eyes allows me to tune in a little better. And you just notice where that emotion lives in your body. Okay. Maybe it's maybe it's anxiety, and the anxiety feels like pressure or tightness in your chest. Okay, so you just feel it in your body. Ooh, I feel that constriction in my chest. I feel it. All right. So I see you. That's naming it. I see you, anxiety. I feel you. You're like this tightness in my chest. And I hear you. What do you need from me? What do you need? Do you need me to just be still for a moment? Do you need me to go outside and breathe some fresh air? Do you need me to go punch a pillow? Right? Like, whatever it is, listening to yourself is so powerful. What a beautiful gift of self-love. I see you, anxiety. I feel you. You're right here in my chest, constricting. And I hear you. What do you need? Okay. Hope that helps. All right, maybe one more question, or if not,
I would just like to say also that I coached with Misty, and she really helped me. So it'd be great to reach out to her. It's very helpful. The reason I asked her to be here today is because she gave me some great tools. So
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm crying now. Yeah. Right here with you, Deborah. That space, give yourself space to feel that. It's a beautiful gift. I felt like I needed a hug. Yeah. And how beautiful that we can give that to ourselves just by giving ourselves attention. A little bit of time is like that hug that you're asking for. Yeah.
I want to say that I'll make this recording available to everybody, and along with Misty's contact information. So if you missed anything or wanted to listen to it again. So thank you, Misty. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are welcome. Glad to be. You're welcome.
Okay, I don't know if nobody has anything else, unless somebody does. I think my internet's being weird, but anyway, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it, Misty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to be here. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.